In a bustling city called Enugu, surrounded by towering buildings and busy streets, lived a food vendor named Okwulu. Okwulu was known for her special food, which could make even the wealthiest people forget their pride. Her food stand called Mama Nku was a popular spot at the city market, always surrounded by a crowd eager to get a taste of her cooking. From dawn to dusk, the line at Okwulu's stand stretched far, as people jostled and argued to be served first. But Okwulu was known not just for the deliciousness of her food, but for something else, an undeniable magic that seemed to surrender her cooking. People say that no matter how hard a person worked, once they tasted her food, they felt peaceful and at home. Even the richest men, who had houses full of servants and could eat at the finest restaurants in the city, were drawn to Okulu's store. They would humbly wash their own plates and wait in line with the rest of the city dwellers as though they were ordinary folk. One day, as Okwulu served food to the eager crowd, a madman known as Wokechukwu wandered by. He had unkempt hair and torn clothes, and he laughed loudly as he passed Okwulu's store. "You are all eating the flesh of the python," he shouted. His voice was wide, but his words carried a strange weight. "You are all eating the flesh of a snake." The crowd froze, and a hush fell over the market. Okwulu smiled gently and served a plate of rice to a young man, while others ignored the madman's ranting. Wokechukwu danced around, laughing and chanting, "You are all eating the snake's flesh." The crowd began to laugh, dismissing the madman's words. "He's crazy," they muttered, shaking their heads. "How could there be snake in Okwulu's food?" they muttered to themselves. But there was one person who couldn't shake the words: Chinyere, a vendor who once had a successful store, but now saw her customers disappearing, couldn't help but wonder. She sold nearly the same food as Okwulu, yet her store was empty, while Okwulu's was always full. "What is it that Okwulu does differently that I don't do?" Chinyere asked herself, wiping the sweat from her brow. "I cook with the same ingredients. I buy from the same market, and yet my food doesn't even seem to have the same magic." Her thoughts were interrupted by the madman's voice once more. "You are all eating snakes," he cried. Chinyere's heart skipped a beat. She had heard the madman's warning before, but now it began to bother her. What was it that made people so drawn to Okwulu's food? And why were the rich men so willing to wash their own plates and eat with the common folk? Determined to find out, Chinyere decided to seek help from the city-famous seer, Ugochukwu. People said Ugochukwu could see what others could not and knew hidden truths that no one dared speak of. That night, Chinyere set off to find Ugochukwu's house. When she arrived, Ugochukwu was waiting for her. "I know why you have come," the seer said, her voice calm but serious. "I need to know what's happening at Okwulu's store," Chinyere confessed. "People are acting strangely around her food. The madman says they are eating snakes, but no one believes him, yet I can't stop thinking about it." Ugochukwu nodded slowly. "You are right. Okwulu's food is not just food. It is tied to something dark, something hidden from the eyes of the ordinary person." Chinyere felt a cold shiver run down her spine. "What should I do?" she asked urgently. Ugochukwu handed her a small bag wrapped in cloth. "Tomorrow, go to Okwulu's store and sprinkle the contents near her cooking pot. But be very careful, Chinyere. The truth you uncover will not be easy to bear." With her heart racing, Chinyere left Ugochukwu's house, clutching the small packets tightly. She felt a mix of fear and determination. The next day, she would uncover the truth. When Chinyere arrived at the market the next morning, everything seemed as usual. People crowded around Okwulu's store, eager to eat. The rich men, the common folk, even children, all waited patiently for their food. Chinyere's heart pounded in her chest as she approached the store. She smiled at Okwulu and quietly took out the small packet. Nobody was paying attention, so she sprinkled the powder near Okwulu's large cooking pot, just as Ugochukwu had instructed. For a moment, nothing happened, and Chinyere began to wonder if it was all just a waste of time. Then, a strange thing occurred. The pot began to shake slightly. Chinyere held her breath as the pot shook more violently. People started to notice, and the noise of the market grew quieter. Suddenly, with a loud crash, the lid of the pot flew off, and a giant snake emerged. It was enormous, its black scales shining under the sun. Its tongue flicked in and out, and its glowing eyes scanned the crowd. The city dwellers froze in terror. The rich men who had once humbly washed their plates now stood frozen, their faces pale with fear. The madman's words echoed in Chinyere's mind. "You are all eating the flesh of the python." She couldn't believe what she was saying. The giant snake was real, and it had been hiding in the pot all along. Chaos erupted in the market. People screamed, some ran, and others stood frozen in fear. The snake slithered out of the pot, its hissing filling the air. Okwulu, standing behind her store, tried in vain to push the snake back into the pot, but it was too late. The secret was out. With one last hiss, the snake slithered back into the pot and vanished. The crowd was silent, shocked by what they had witnessed. Okwulu, the food vendor, who had once been adored, quietly slipped away, disappearing into the crowd. Chinyere stood there, her heart pounding. She had uncovered the truth, but the truth was far darker than she had imagined. Okwulu's food had been laced with dark magic, and the rich men who had once been so eager to eat there had unknowingly been consuming something evil. In the days that followed, the market became a place of whispered conversations. People were too afraid to eat from any food store, unsure of who they could trust. But slowly, Chinyere's store began to attract customers again. People came back, but they couldn't forget the horrors they had witnessed. Chinyere's business slowly picked up, but the fear of Okwulu's dark secret lingered in the hearts of the city dwellers. And as for Okwulu, no one ever saw her again. The truth about her food was out, and the city would never be the same again. Hi besties, we have finally come to the end of this amazing story. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this story today. I sincerely appreciate your support. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more interesting stories if you haven't subscribed. Thank you once again for watching, and see you in our next video. Bye!